Now, moving forward with the case, what's the where are we now in the case as it pertains to giving the information to the public?
So the Attorney General claims that they've completed their investigation, but now that they have to analyze the investigation, I don't know. And it's not, I'm laughing out of frustration. You know, sometimes you have to laugh things off, but so he's completed the investigation. He now has to analyze it. I say if there's that in the termination letter that we saw for Officer Brett Hankinson, there's probable cause to charge an officer, probable cause to present it to a grand jury. I think if you present it to a grand jury, I think the grand jury indicts, and I think you go through the process. And if that's why we have a jury trial process. So let a jury trial sort out who may be guilty, who may not be guilty, but indict the officers, including the one that lied on the search warrant affidavit.
You saw it was empty, right?
Yeah, because that set all of this into motion, right? So, but he has probable cause to charge him. Why we can't get so a lot of what a lot of people don't know is we get information as the public's getting it too. So it's
okay.
Yeah. So that's frustrating as well. But
what's the status of the other two? One's been fired.
3 now. So they did the other 2 that shot were placed, and the one that's been terminated initially were all placed on administrative reassignment at the same time. So the other 2 are still on admin reassignment, and about a month ago they placed the guy that wrote the search warrant on admin reassignment.
Now, Natasha, you just posted a letter from the state. It was as it pertains to the Attorney General, and
you mean when they dropped the charges, the felony charges of the protesters?
It was prior to that. You the letter saying, and then you did the someone's about to lose their job. That one.
Oh.
That letter. What was that letter about?
That was where they where the county basically dropped the felony charges. So 87 protesters went to jail that day, and Lanita is the only reason that I don't have to report that to the Florida bar, because I was like, man, I'm gonna just go to jail. Because that's why I made the post, because so many people were talking so much negative, like just feeding out so much negative energy, and just coming from a place of not knowing about Until Freedom and how that protest went down. And what they don't understand is that all the information of every single protester that went to jail was already acquired beforehand to ensure that everyone was bonded out, to ensure that everyone got out. Until Freedom did not leave from in front of that jail until the last person got out, which was like basically a whole day later. So that's why I posted that video, and just, to answer the questions, because I get the same questions over and over again. But they charged them with a felony. And when, we're going around the room, planning the logistics of the protest, and it's like, okay, you're going to go to jail, you're going to go to jail, you're going to go to jail. And I was like, I'd go to jail. And Lonnie was like, nah, you're not going to go to jail. You can't go to jail.
And it wasn't because I thought she would be charged with a felony. Never did anyone. Like, even when we said, you're going to go to jail, you're going to go to jail, you're going to go to jail.
No one ever thought.
When they was like, oh, I heard they getting charged. Because, you start to get word down. And being that I worked in the criminal justice system for 13 years before I began to do civil, you start to get word. You're like, a felony? What felony? And then intimidating a participant in the legal process. And I said,
How? He was not there.
And to see the stretch that LMPD was trying, they're like, oh, when they said in his grass, that was implied force.
Against who? The home? Because he wasn't there. So, but we know now, and I'm not going to keep nobody's secrets. We know now that he said, get them off my lawn right now. I want them arrested. Meanwhile, the mayor, every other politician or political figure, Everybody does sit-ins. This happens. You go to the mayor's house, you go to the governor's house, you sit there, you stay overnight, 2-3 days, whatever. This happens. You go to their office, you run the risk of going to jail, but a lot of times you don't, because they get it. Like, this is just part of the job. I got to take this with it. He's been on the job for like 14 minutes and he's already trying to call shots like that. And what it showed me is that he's not afraid to arrest. He's not afraid to charge, but he is arresting and charging everybody but who he needs to arrest and charge. What kind of analysis you need to do on these police officers, because you didn't do any analysis about what was going on in your house, in your yard. No one ever got more than like 5 to 10 feet from his actual home. It was in the lawn.
Well, and the statute just didn't apply. And as a former domestic violence prosecutor, I got really pissed when they used that statute, because this is the statute that is used to protect domestic violence victims, you know, from their abusers who say, oh, if you call the police, I'm going to kick your, where are we at? Can I cuss?
Yeah, we in a barbershop.
If you call the police, I'm going to kick your ass. You know, it's that. That's what it was for. Or and yes, it protects, you know, prosecutors, judges, and police officers in cases, but it's from direct threats. It has to be a direct threat to kill or harm. Not that we coming and sitting in your yard. That's criminal trespass, a violation all day long. Give me my fine and let me go on about my way. So it was, but what that did was highlight so many things that are wrong with the criminal justice system that we have to work on. And people that truly know me, they'll tell you I'm a very right is right, wrong is wrong person. There are some people who just need to be in jail, but there are, like, our system is too skewed and it's too disproportionate, and we have to fix it so that we don't feel so targeted, and not feel so targeted so that we aren't targeted in the way that we are.